Hey guys, I'm back. It's Marissa again, and we're gonna go on our part 2 of the story. But before I go there, let me show you what I finished. I finished 6 of this Bath and Body sanitizers, and I had 35 of them, but I figured 6 is enough, and so I'm gonna put this on the side for now, and the rest here, I think I'll have my family use this. And I'll tell you another story, not during this, not in this video, but on the next video. So let me put this on the side, and hopefully it'll remind me later to tell you the story on another video. In the meantime, I am so behind the power curve on creating cards. So at the same time, I don't want to buy any more card bases and envelopes and whatever. So I'm going to, I found this in my stash. So Recollections value pack. There's supposed to be 40, but it looks like if it's open, that means I already used it. And it's a 5 by 6.5 inch. And it has, of course, the envelopes and the card bases. So I'm going to use them. And then in the meantime, these are the items that I'm going to use. I'm going to use my trusty diamond press cutter, and I just got this, by the way, from HSN. So yay, that I think that's 10 folders that I can use with for cutting. So today I'm going to play with this Concord and Night Mistletoe Messages die cut. I used this last year, so I'm going to use it again this year because it makes my life easier. So of this, I'm going to make this into 3 sprigs this year. And I am going to use this 3 green here for that. And then I'm going to use this red for the ribbon and also the berries. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this. I'm going to have to think about it. But anyway, this was from last year. I don't know if it's still available. I don't even remember where I bought this from. But anyway, if you're interested, just Google it. Mistletoe Messages dies is what it's called. Hopefully it's still available. And then I also will be using as a background this white cardstock. I think I got this from Walmart. This here, the colored cardstock, are from Recollection. And I am not sure what sentiment I am going to use. I have this 2 dies here, or not dies, but stamps that I could use. These are for other cards. You know me, I get bored easily with creating the same the same design over and over again. So I'm looking at this if I can use it, but it doesn't look like I can. But I'm just going to stamp this regularly, and going to use my Misty to stamp it. So in the meantime, for the white, I am going to cut something to fit inside so people can write, or I can write, and also for the outside, for, you know, as a backing, if you will, for the mistletoes. All right, let me do my cuttings, and I will be right back to put this together, and then we'll talk stories again. I'll be right back, guys. So guys, I'm back. I was able to cut all the elements here. I cut the papers, the cardstock, the white cardstock. I cut them, geez, I forgot. I got them to 6 by 4.5. So, and then I already cut the mistletoe. There's 3 shades of green, and I just went ahead and used one of my red cardstocks from Recollections. And so I'm still going to put this on the side. These are Hero Arts stamps, and also Elizabeth Craft Designs. Still figuring out which one I'm going to need for later. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of breath. and I didn't even run. I noticed this after the surgery. Anyway, I'm going to put this on the side and let's start working on the putting together the dies. So I'm getting quick stick here from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm just going to use them to pick up the small pieces of the berries. And pardon my mat, it's a little dirty. I tried to clean this out, but I guess because I've been using a lot of ink, you know, in my previous videos, it just wouldn't get cleaned. I guess the what do you call this, the ink were permanent. Anyway, so let me move the berries on the side here and the ribbon too. And what I'm planning to do is just stagger these leaves or mistletoe, and just stagger them from the darkest, or at least what I look at as darkest here, to the lightest. And I'm trying to also check to make sure that it's gonna be in the cardstock, and it's not gonna go over the cardstock, the white cardstock. So I'm just crisscrossing them. Anyway, so let me get back to my story as I fiddle with this. So I think we left off with my mom and her cancer, and she eventually succumbed to her brain's cancer on December 14th, which is coming up soon, 1993. So that'll be 18 years, is that right? Yes, 18 years here. No, 28 years, is that right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe my mom's been gone for 28 years and it just seemed like it happened yesterday. Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway, going back to my mom. So going back to the diagnosis of the cancer. So when she diagnosed me with cancer, she referred me to the oncologist that was in their what do you call this, in their practice. Trusted my GYN on this. She did tell me that we caught it early. Of course, you know, I was really devastated. I felt like my world stopped when I got the diagnosis. So when that happened, I basically asked her to ask my GYN to refer me to someone that's really good here in our state, or in our town. So she did, and she referred me to this oncologist. And so I went to her. Again, I prayed that, first of all, I prayed that I won't have the kind of death my mom had. Because remember, that's the one that I'm most scared of, is to you know, have that kind of death. I also prayed that if it was my time, to just take me right away, because again, I didn't want the death that I witnessed, that my mom experienced. And so anyway, and then if it wasn't my time yet, and of course I did pray that, you know, I would like to live a little longer so I can see my kids grow a little older and be more mature. My kids, by the way, are really, you know, they're not really old, but they're of age, they're adults. But at the same time, they still live with us because they still go to school. And so I just wanted to make sure that I see them succeed, you know, see where they are in their lives, and you know, then you know, where I will be comfortable leaving them. And because I'm not comfortable leaving my kids yet. Of course, if it was my time and he deemed that it was my time, I was ready to go too. I mean, not so much as ready, but you know, what can I do? It was my time, right? So but if it wasn't my time yet, for him to pave the way to, you know, help me out with the journey, because it is a journey. So anyway, as I was saying earlier, I was referred to a oncologist here in town. And so I called. Actually, they didn't call me. I called and asked my friends if they know of any other oncologists that they could refer me to, and they referred me to a couple. Actually, they referred me to 3 people, plus the one that my GYN referred me to, right? So, okay, so I was at that point already where I am ready to, you know, call people and see if they can see me right away. And so as I was calling, I mean, of course there's some physicians that were busy. They were too busy. They didn't have a chance. I also went online and did my my research of which doctors would be good, you know, to see me. So I did that, and I called the first 2 doctors that I thought, excuse me, this is not working for me. I'm gonna have to pull this one. So I called the 2 doctors that were on my highest rating and online, and so I called them. One of the higher rating doctors was the doctor that my GYN suggested. Guys, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm having problems with my... Oh, wait, never mind. So, anyway, I'm sorry. I had to stop to get adhesive. Anyway, so I found these 2 doctors. One of them is the doctor that my GYN suggested, their GYN oncologist. So I called them. So the one that my doctor suggested or recommended, I was able to get an appointment with her on the 20th of September. So I was going, okay, that's actually good that I'm actually seeing her on the 20th, right? So remember, I had my my results on September 8th, and I'm going to see this doctor on the 20th. That's 2 weeks. That's actually really good in my book. So anyway, and then I called the other doctor. The other doctor didn't have an opening until the following day, which is the 21st. So long story short, I went to see the first doctor, the one that my GYN recommended. And so I went to see her, and she was, I don't know, guys, maybe because I work in a hospital too, I found her a little aloof, this doctor. And then, so I wasn't really 100% sure about, you know, how I would feel about her. And so she had told me that, you know, I showed her the pathology results from the September 1st surgery, and she recommended a total hysterectomy, which means she has to take everything. She has to take the uterus, the fallopian tube, the ovaries, and the cervix. According to her, there was everything. I'm like, okay. And I was okay with that. And she even suggested that she was going to do, she was going to take out the lymph nodes, which, you know, having experienced my, you know, some cancer things with my mom, I know that lymph node was an important thing to take out, to examine, to see if the cancer had spread. So, okay. So, of course, I agreed with that. Anyway, she took me after my appointment with her. She took me to her scheduler, and the scheduler said, well, you know, the doctor's going to be off the whole month, the first 3 weeks of October. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I really want this out of my system, right? I mean, why would you want cancer in your system? So I told her, I said, okay, so if that's the case, does she have an opening before she leaves? If she has an opening tomorrow, I will go ahead and take that appointment. Now, you see, you have to understand too, when she took us to see the scheduler, there was a patient before us. And so when my oncologist, I mean, I was talking about my oncologist, took me to her scheduler, she had a patient before me. The scheduler had a patient before me to schedule. In the meantime, my oncologist took another patient. So, so when it was my turn to sit with the scheduler, I, at the corner of my eye, saw my oncologist pass by the scheduler and hand off the patient after me to another staff. But but then again, at the same time, I was talking to the scheduler, and that's what I said was, you know, if there is a surgery tomorrow, I would like to take that schedule. I mean, I would like to have it done before she leaves for her her vacation for the, you know, in October. So while I was talking to the scheduler, I heard someone pacing outside the door. I mean, outside her office, because the door was open, so I can hear someone pacing. And then after I said that to the scheduler, that I take the appointment the following day if there's surgery open, I saw my oncologist came in, and she was like, well, could you check if my schedule on the 29th of this month, which is September. And so the scheduler looked at it, and she had 4 surgeries scheduled that day. So my oncologist says, well, why don't you go ahead and schedule her as my first case on the 29th of September. And I want you to schedule her first because, you know, she has other problems. And so guess what? I got scheduled. So in my head, I was thinking, okay, I saw her on the 20th, which according to several of my friends, that's quick to get an appointment to see a referral doctor that was referred, that, you know. And then also, wow, I get to be scheduled, you know, that was the 20th, and then the 29th, I was scheduled for my surgery. So, you know, everything in my head, oh my God, is this you responding and telling me, you know, are you paving my way? So, you know, it's like, it was, oh my goodness, I don't know how to explain the feeling I felt. So anyway, she had me scheduled on the 29th. So in the meantime, I'm talking to my God, I'm praying a lot. And I told him that, you know, if this is, you know, if this is it, again, I always been talking to him saying that if this is it, hurry up and take me. If it isn't, just, you know, calm me down for this surgery, please. Because I was really, really nervous. Because, again, the only surgery I've had was a C-section, plus now that hysteroscopy that we just had. Anyway, would you believe, you know, all the prayers that I've been, you know, saying, and really at work, I did not want to say anything to my co-workers. I only told my supervisor, ask her to keep it as a secret. And I'm sure, you know, because my co-workers are not stupid. They are very smart people. So anyway, I can't explain it to you guys, but I felt calmness that I cannot explain, like a couple days, 2 or 3 days before the surgery, because I haven't been nervous all that time waiting for the surgery, right? I mean, granted, it was only, what, 8-9 days, but it was scary for me. So all of a sudden, I just felt this calmness I cannot explain. And so, wow. Anyway, so I carried that feeling until like maybe the morning of the actual surgery. And I spoke with my surgeon, my anesthesiologist, because they do come and visit you and see and talk to you, and you know, just talk to you and see how everything is. And my anesthesiologist seems like he was a really nice guy, in my opinion. So he seems to be a really sweet guy. And anyway, so he came over and introduced himself, and really, really nice person, or at least that was my impression of him. And then after that, I don't know how to explain it, guys. I got into my surgery when they rolled me in or wheeled me into the OR. That was the only time I started crying. I started getting scared. I just felt scared when they wheeled me into the OR. That's why the only time I started really crying, because the whole time I cried, yes, but not crying for like I'm scared crying. I was more of a I don't know how to explain it. It was very, I felt like, okay, well, I'm really scared, but I know you've got me. But at the same time, oh my God, this is actually really happening. That's what I thought during once they will, you know, as I got to the emergency, I mean, not the emergency room, but as I got into the operating room. And then, I don't know how to explain it. So I got to the OR. I started crying. The nurses were so kind. My doctor and her PA were on one side trying to, because it was a robotic surgery. So they were on one side doing their computer thing and checking everything. The nurses were helping me move from the gurney to the actual table. And then at this point, I started crying and getting scared. And, you know, they were very, very, you know, nice and just very passionate and compassion. So anyway, compassionate, I should say. So I got there. Like I said, I was crying. And then, so they moved me. I got moved. And they had me swing my legs over because they were going to do an epidural for some weird reason. I don't know why. So, so I looked over to the anesthesiologist. Remember, this is the kind guy I was telling you guys about. He gave me the kindest and most reassuring smile ever that I have ever experienced. Maybe because he saw that I was crying. And seriously, my tears were huge tears. They're not just the regular, you know, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so, and then they said, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay, you know, you're in good hands. You know, they tried to reassured me. And so I was like, okay, and then they put this goggles over my eyes. It's like, let me explain. It's like a piece of paper kind of thing. You know how when we do shaker boxes, that's the closest I could think of. So when we do the shaker boxes, you put the foam around around the paper, and then you put the shaker stuff in the middle. Well, the foam is around that little goggles. I think it's called goggles. And I am so stupid. Would you believe that all I was thinking of at that time was, holy shoots, I'm going to feel this little shaker thing with tears. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I thought that. Anyway, so after that, I mean, seriously, after I thought that and I just prayed, you know, I told him that I was in his hands, that he's in control at that point, right? He's in control of the doctors, he's in control of the nurses, he's totally in control of me. So I just told him, you know, I'm in your hands. What more can I say, right? I was in his hands. I still am in his hands. And then the next thing you know, I was awake at the recovery room. And the nurse who took care of me during my first surgery on September 1st was the same nurse that was taking care of me on the second surgery at the recovery room. And that nurse came from the same province that I am from in the Philippines. And we were speaking our dialect. And she said, "Oh my gosh, you're back." And then she says, "I read your chart and I'm really sorry about your cancer. And I really hope they got everything out." And so I was I was groggier then than I was, you know, during the first surgery. Oh my gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, I felt a little stupid. Anyway, I was, so, I'm sorry, I have to look at this real quick. I want to make sure it's aligned. Anyway, so she was saying that, and I was so groggy from the anesthesia. Next thing I fell asleep. Next thing you know, I was with my husband at the at my hospital bed. They had to admit me. Normally, from what I understand, normally the procedure that I went through was supposed to be an outpatient too. I don't know how that could be outpatient, guys, but I'm glad that I stayed overnight. I had a one-night stay at the hospital. And the reason for that is I have other health issues for the doctor to actually make me stay in the hospital for an extra, for that one night. And I'm glad they did, because, guys, oh my goodness, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just glad that she did. She did make me stay in the hospital during that time, and I'm just glad that things worked out for me that time too. Anyway, I am measuring twice here, if you notice, and gonna be stamping once, obviously. So I put the stamp here, make sure that it is centered too, because I don't think it is centered. So I'm gonna try and center it up here. So, oh my gosh. So as you saw, just for those who are trying to follow me on this card that I'm making, so I took out the "'Tis the Season" from Elizabeth Craft's, what is this stamp set? I forgot what it's called. Classic Christmas Sentiments. I'm not sure if this is still available, but if it's not, I'm sure there's other things or other stamps that would, you know, be comparable. Same thing with this. And this one is Hero Crafts or Hero Arts. Holy. Winter's Holiday Messages. So these are, I like this, except for, of course, the one-liners here, which are supposed to be in the front. But the one that I picked for the inside of the card is wishing you all peace, love, and joy. So that's what I'm getting. So I was stalking. I just saw that. I'm like picking it up. Okay, so now, guys, where did I stop? Okay, so I was in the hospital room at this point, and my friends wanted to see me, right? So, or remember, I haven't told anyone about, or I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, I did tell you that. I don't want anyone to know about my diagnosis. One, because I don't want to be treated differently. You know, I don't want to be treated with kids' gloves or anything like that. I want it to be treated like normal. Because I'm normal. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking, and I am here. Or I was there. Anyway, so that's exactly what I told my boss too. I said, don't write me off yet. I'm still here. And then anyway, so so I woke up. By the way, I'm sorry. I was trying to tell you who who knew about it. So obviously the people who knew about my diagnosis, the only people that I actually ask or actually know about the diagnosis is my husband, obviously, my kids, my 2 siblings, and I only have 3 friends that I told directly to. One of my friends had to tell the rest of my friends, and she is one of my very close friends. We've known each other since we were 13 years old, and she is like a sister. She's family to me. We also have a group of friends who are all here in the US too. Several in California, one in and a couple in the East Coast. She asked if she can tell them, and I said yes. But I wasn't in contact with them. She was the one that was in contact with them. She updates them, and they were also told not to tell anybody else, because again, I don't want our other friends to, you know, get worried, or, you know, I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I don't know if you can relate. I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to deal with this ugly truth, if you will, and just deal with it myself, and with my family, with my husband, and the friends that I had told. I only told 3 people. So my friend, because who I've known since I was 13, and she also told our other friends. We were all close. It's just I didn't want to talk to them. I don't know why. The second one is one of my very close friends from Hawaii. When we moved here in the mainland, she also, you know, she moved here first before I did. A few months later, I moved here. But we're very close. I love her to death, and she's like a sister to me too. The third person is she calls me aunt, and I see her as my niece. She's family to me. But we're not blood relatives. She's younger than me by, 11 years. But she is one of my friends. She is my family. So she knows about this. So that's it. That's all the people I had told about. Didn't even, you know, I have a lot of friends in Facebook. I have a lot of friends, scrapbook friends. I never, oh, by the way, I also told one person, I forgot one of my closest scrapbook friends too. I told her about it too, but I told her like later, a little later than the other people who had known. So anyway, so I was back in my room. So my friend who lives here, she happens to be a nurse in one of the hospitals here, came to see me, because she's been wanting to see me for a while, and I've been telling her no, I don't want to see anyone right now. So finally I agreed to her coming to me to the hospital. One, you know, she really wanted to see me, and I at that point I also wanted to see her. So she came. So there's only one person that can stay with me in the room. So when I got into the room, I was still sleeping, but my husband and her were texting each other, and she came, and then so my husband and her had to switch. She stayed with me for an hour. It's like a couple of hours actually, because so anyway, we worked together, and oh my God, I was thinking when I woke up when I first woke up at the hospital, I was thinking, this is it. This is it. It's no big deal, right? I was thinking that. Was like, at this point, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm being arrogant here. I'm like, you know, oh my God, you know, this is it. Oh, why was I scared? This is it. So stupid. Anyway, so I was with my friend. She's like, you look good, because I felt good. I did not feel the pain. I didn't feel any pain. I mean, yeah, I did feel a little uncomfortable, you know, when I moved, but no pain. basically the anesthesia is still working. I'm like, this is it. You know, in my head, I didn't tell her that. I didn't tell my friend that. But in my head, I was going, this is it. Why was I so scared? Anyway, so, oh my gosh. So we FaceTimed with my other friends, you know, that she had told about. That was the first time I actually spoke with them. Because my friends, we had been praying the rosary for a year. And then I had to stop praying the rosary like maybe in June of this year, because I you know, the situation. And then that was the first time basically after a few months that I haven't talked to them. And they're like, oh my God, you look good. Are you sure you got operated on? And I was like, yes. And you know, so anyway, we visited. So, and then a couple of hours later, my friend had to leave. My husband came back upstairs, and you know, she helped me out, and they showed him how to put the ice pack on my wounds, and then he started taking over, moving the ice pack here, there, and oh my God, you guys, my husband, another whole level that I'm gonna have to tell you about later. So after my husband left at 8 o'clock, that was the time that the anesthesia wore off totally, or it felt like it totally wore off. They gave me, I couldn't take anything else except for oxycodone, and of course I have to sign a paperwork for that you know, forming meat, it's addicting and all that stuff. And that when I'm done with my medication, how to dispose of my extras. So anyway, my goodness, they gave me a 5 milligram oxycodone, and then they gave me my other medication that I have to take for my other problems, health problems. And then around about 9 o'clock ish, they gave me sleeping pills so I can sleep through the night, which I didn't, because the stupid what do you call that, the stupid, my goodness, I call it stupid, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. The blood pressure thing, the blood pressure cuff kept on waking me up, kept on beeping. I don't know what was wrong with it. So anyway, yeah, that's my first day after the surgery, first night. I was discharged the following day. They gave me 10 milligrams of oxycodone the following day, and oh my goodness. By the way, I'm going to use my VersaFine to ink up my my stamps here. I love VersaFine because look, really just a few taps and the oh my goodness, please work really well. I love it. You know, guys, if you want to stamp this again, go ahead and stamp it, but I'm okay with this one. Tis the season. And then let me go ahead and do this side. Tap it again on this side. I'm not going to worry too much about that, so it won't move on me. And I'm just pressing it down. Oh, I think I'm going to do this again because it's not dark enough. This is why I love the Misty, guys. Look at that. And this is what I've done. I don't have the bars yet, so what I did was just to take some masking tape. Easier for me to pull my 2 magnets that came with the Misty. And there you go. So let me put this on the side. I'm not going to close it yet because I'm going to use this, and in between I'll let it dry. So let me close this up. Yeah, so far that is the craziest experience I've had in the hospital. But, you know, all this time that I was in the hospital, God was with me. I don't think I can ever have any other way of telling you that God is real. God was with me. God was with me all the way through, from when I found out about my diagnosis. He paved my road, my way to this journey. Think about it. From the time I got my diagnosis, it's barely even 2 weeks, I got an appointment with my oncologist. And then 8 or 9 days later, actually really think about it, it's only 8 days later, I got my surgery. Now, if God is not trying to pave the way, I don't know what is and who is. That's all I can say right now. And then, so you guys, I don't know how I could have done it, how scared I was, how everything went. I don't know how I would have been able to survive it. It's a lot of things that went on in between, but I'm telling you guys, He was with me all throughout. He was there when I needed lifting. He was there when I found out about the cancer. He was just with me all throughout. Anyway, guys, here's my taste of season. So awesome, right? And then we also have the greeting there already. So I need to make a few more of this. And then I'm going to create 2 different cards. I'm thinking of making 6 of this and then making, or 3 cards maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I will show you what I'll be making. I'm prepping them beforehand. So, and they're going to be very simple, guys. Because, you know, it's the beginning of December still, and Christmas is around the corner, and before you know it, it's here. So, taste the season. Wishing you all peace, love, and joy. I'm gonna continue my story and the results of my surgery on the next video. See you in a while.